no, this is a little demon. This girl needs help. Not all the grandmothers crashing out. Wow, I was not expecting that. That was a lot. Greetings, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. The topic for today is ending relationships. Everything, of course, is always included in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hype, tell your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your cousin, your mima, Pookie from across the way. And no church announcements today, so let's just go ahead and get into it. The first story. Would I be the a-hole if I go low contact with my niece and take back her gifts? So yesterday, I went over to my sister's house to help her with some things. I was there for a couple of hours and took a little nap for like 4 hours because I was tired. After I woke up, I went home and my husband was being a little off and seemed kind of upset and unhappy. I'm like, what's up? And he says, I'm being nice for someone who just texted what I did. I sent my kids upstairs and started asking what the hell was going on. He says I sent him divorce texts. I'm shocked because I never did that, which I let him know. I even showed him my phone, which did not show any such texts. He then showed me his messages under my name, and apparently I want a divorce. I was bamboozled because not only did I not think it, but I definitely did not text that. This affected him a little more because we had a fight the previous night, but we have a tradition of sorts, which is reassuring each other that we still love and care, but are just upset at the moment. I'm only adding this because I said something along those lines in the morning before I left, which I brought up when I was defending myself against the text I supposedly sent. He then says I had done something similar previously. This is in reference to when I was pregnant and had some pseudo-bipolar symptoms, which have since been mostly resolved. I've only done this once and it wasn't even on the same level. I just kind of used to have terrible mood swings. Also, this was only during the pregnancy. I have no bipolar diagnosis or anything like that. That whole journey was kind of traumatic and is not a pleasant memory for me, which he is aware of. Anyway, after we bicker for a little bit, I decide to call my sister and explain what was happening. And then I'm like, hey, can you pull up your house footage from while I was there this morning? We're on FaceTime and we fast forward to when I was asleep. The outlet in the room I was in wasn't working, so I had plugged my phone in the dining area to charge while I slept. We see my 16-year-old niece on my phone. She was on it off and on for like 2.5 hours, smiling and giggling. I'm upset and her mom is upset. She calls her and asks if she touched my phone while I was there, and she lies and says no. She asks her again 2 more times if she touched my phone, and she says she didn't. The laptop is faced away from her, and I believe she didn't realize I was on the phone or that we both already saw what she did. It was after my sister started trying to send me the footage, which I had initially asked for, that she saw that her mom had already seen what happened. She started apologizing and saying it was supposed to be a prank and she didn't mean anything by it. She called out to me too, with apologies while she was crying. My sister is one of those silent when angry types, so she wasn't saying anything. I didn't even know what to say at all at this time because why would she even think this was a fun prank? Right? Like, kids, bro. Like, what the hell? Not to mention going into my phone without my permission. How she knows my password, I'm not sure because it's not simple or related to me. I had initially promised I would sponsor her 17th birthday, which is next month. She had previously also asked for a new PC, which I got, but it's supposed to be a surprise. I also happen to be her godmother. My question is, will I be overreacting if I take all these gifts back and keep a distance from her? Is it overkill? I feel maybe I'm punishing her for the way my husband reacted and brought up something traumatic for me. Also, maybe his response is justified because he thought the texts were from me, and then I was all smiley and sweet when I came back. I'm confused on how to proceed, but Reddit has previously helped figure stuff out before, so I decided to turn to them again. Sorry if this was too lengthy, and let me know if there's anything I have to clarify. Thanks. Child, kids these days, people these days have such a skewed definition of what they see as pranks. Pranks are supposed to be things that are not harmful, that no one is going to be hurt or offended. No one is going to, their relationships are going to be ruined because of it. Like, pranks are supposed to just be actually funny things. If this is supposed to be a funny prank, I would just like her to sit and explain to me where the funny part is. Where is the funny part? And then also, typically, people want to see the outcome of their prank. They don't do pranks where they don't see the person's reaction at the end of it. That's what makes this even more weird. You don't even get to see what happened with your prank because OP goes home and has to deal with the repercussions at her own house away from you. So really, I would like the 16-year-old to really explain step by step what she was trying to do and what she expected the outcome to be and where the funny is in all of it. Texting a woman's husband from her phone, I want a divorce. That's not funny. I just don't. And objectively, because, we're not in OP's shoes. We don't know. I don't have any emotional attachment to the argument that they had earlier in the day or whatever. I don't think she would be wrong for, at the very least, not giving her the PC. It was supposed to be a surprise anyway. And depending on, I don't know exactly what the whole 17th birthday plan is, but I don't think she would be wrong to scale back on whatever it is. I don't know about completely not doing anything at all, but maybe scale back on it since she already made a promise. But then again, maybe if she did just not do anything at all, that's just a lesson that the girl has to know. You know what? Actually, let that be a prank. Actually, tell her that you still do have something planned for her 17th birthday. When the day comes, I actually don't have anything planned. It's a prank. You're not laughing. It's not funny, huh? Yeah, do that. That'll teach her. Somebody said the most important thing first is to make sure your husband knows what really happened and have your sister send him the video feed showing your niece on your phone. After you make sure he believes you, I would then go scorched earth with your niece. Actions have consequences, and she needs to understand that now, and that is in no way any type of prank. With most pranks, the person is there to see the outcome and say, ha, your niece would have had no idea what was going on, so how would she even know the prank was successful or not? That's what I'm saying. And obviously, I would change my passwords on everything, including banking apps. That's exactly what I'm saying. So to me, it almost sounds like she actually was trying to sabotage their relationship and it wasn't a prank, and she just said it was a prank because she's lying again. As it doesn't make sense. OP responded he was present when I asked for the footage and he has seen it too. So there was an update on the same day. Update. Thank you everyone for all the comments and advice. It is incredibly appreciated. All this happened yesterday. I only posted because I was slightly conflicted. To answer common questions in the comments, yes, I slept for 4 hours at my sister's house. She's my sister and we do stuff like that. I didn't say I was tired from what I helped her with. I was simply just tired. Both my sister and niece weren't aware of my husband's and my fight from the previous night. Niece also was not aware of the full extent of my mental health struggles from the pregnancy. Niece wasn't texting for 2.5 hours straight. She was on and off the phone. I assume she got off it when she thought she would be caught. Apparently, she has known my password for a while now. She learned it from looking over my shoulder at a family event from a couple of months back. Also, according to my sister, she has gone into my phone before, at least 3 times that she fessed up to. She has, She has transferred money to herself, taken videos and pictures off of it, gone through my texts with my kids and some other relatives, stolen other people's phone numbers, gotten passwords for my streaming services that they didn't own, and gone through my other texts with my husband. And yes, There's very spicy stuff in there. Nope, cancel everything. The birthday is off. The PC is off. She don't need to have a phone. No, this is a little demon. No. Now you cannot convince me that she was not trying to just sabotage their relationship. You cannot convince me that she really believed that it was a prank. You can't. She was doing this maliciously. This was not a prank. That's insane. Transferring money to... You're stealing monetary and intellectual property from your aunt. Stealing this girl is a menace. She said, my husband is okay. We talked and he apologized for how he spoke to me, but I told him I totally understand why he would say what he said. I also apologized for my reaction. We are okay in our front and decided we were both justified given what we both individually knew. Back to the niece. The only other thing she did, according to her, was transfer more money. I checked my recently deleted text and there was nothing suspicious there, but I don't know if you can delete texts from recently deleted. You can. Well, actually, can you? Let me see. Yep, you sure can. So she probably did do that. OP says, she also said she thought the prank would be funny because there was no way my husband would believe all that stuff she texted because, according to her, he loves me too much and we have a perfect relationship. In the text, he had only replied that we would talk when I got home and that he wasn't going to have that conversation with me over text. This girl went all the way to add that I would send the papers in a couple of days and talk about the kids with lawyers. I can't explain how absolutely pissed I am. And I still fail to see how that's funny. I just don't. This girl needs help. She seriously needs help. This is like something is wrong with her. This is a little criminal in the making. She said the plan is to go absolutely no contact with her after learning of all the other stuff she did. There will be no birthday and no PC. Someone said to put up a post saying if anyone got a questionable text from me in the last 24 hours to let me know. I did that, but no one has reached out yet, so I'm hoping it was just my husband. I'm getting my money back. I checked, and in total, she has sent over $700 to herself that I wasn't aware of. File a police report. I don't care. At this point, she needs real life consequences. I will be filing a police report. That has to at least be petty theft or something, depending on what state you're in. I know there's like certain minimums, dollar amounts. That is insane. She said she did not send it in bulk, just little bits here and there. I guess I didn't catch on because I do send her money often, and I do have quite a bit in my account, so it wasn't obvious. Her mother will send the money to me from her daughter's savings later this weekend. I told her mother about the suggestion you guys have on community service and therapy. I'm low-key scared for her future relationships and college life. She would not have any electronic devices for the rest of the summer. Personally, I do not want to lay eyes on her in the near future. Oh, and yes, she has done this before to one of her friends whom she is still friends with. I don't know why anyone would remain friends with someone like that. This hurt a lot because I love this child so much. I was more present than her father the first 11 years of her life. She used to come to me for her struggles and problems and all that teenage stuff. She had her first period at my house. Her other cousins on her dad's side are jealous of our relationship, for goodness sake. She was my favorite. I don't really care what her mom does about all of this. I just want my money back and to never speak to her for now. In the future, I might be open to some contact. I blocked her number, so she sent me a long email, which I haven't read yet. And her mom also brought a handwritten apology letter from her to my husband. My sister is aware of my decision and has apologized for her daughter's behavior. My mom is also aware of the situation now. I have no doubt this is about to become an extended family problem. Anyway, that's that for now. I will update if anything else comes from this. Again, thanks to everyone that contributed with comments and DMs. That girl is evil. She needs help. Somebody said, you said there will be no birthday and no PC. Will there be police for all the different crimes? That's what I'm saying. Like, file a report. OP said, we have decided not to go the legal route. I already got my money back with an additional $300. I have not really decided what to do about the snooping, pictures, videos, and passwords for now. Girl, no. Call the police. See, and this is why she keep doing what she doing. You said she did it with a friend. Now she did it with you. She probably did it with somebody else. And she's going to keep doing it because she has no real consequences. Okay, she don't get to have a birthday, which she probably wasn't going to have anyway. Okay, she doesn't get to have a PC that she already didn't have. Okay, she has to send the money back that she stole. That's not real consequences. She needs help and consequences. I do agree with the therapy, and I do agree with some sort of like community service or something. But this is scary because she's already 16, about to turn 17 in the next month. She's already about to be a legal adult. So there's not too much more child rearing that her parents can do. She's already at the point of no return almost. This is concerning. So about 9 days later, hey all, it's been a couple of days and I've gotten a bunch of messages about updates. Right now, we're still going through resulting situations from all of this, so I'll just give what I have for now. I don't know if I'm adding this update right. If I am, good. If not, I'm sorry. And the first part of this is on my profile. First, I'll answer common questions. A lot of people seem to be hung up on the 4-hour nap. A lot. I'm a sleeper. I love to sleep. I sleep at her place all the time. It's not that deep, but it is probably why I'm in this predicament anyway. Another thing is the cameras. In this day and age, I think people should have cameras in their houses. I have them at my place too. I got them installed after I hired my first babysitter, and I have figured a lot of stuff from reviewing footage. It does not have to be in every room, just common areas. I agree with having cameras. I mean, at least the common areas. Like I have a camera so that I can see like my front door and the main, you never know. When I'm not here, I just need to know what's happening in my house. I think cameras are very useful, but obviously not like in the bedroom or the bathroom, crazy stuff like that. But in the common areas, yeah, why not? Have a little camera here and there. She said, on to the actual update. My niece came over to formally apologize to my husband and me. She cried throughout the entire apology. She said she hadn't done it to anyone else, just me. I kept asking, why? And she just kept repeating she was sorry. My husband thinks she probably thought I would be the one to forgive the easiest. I told her exactly why I was upset and how she had hurt me and my husband. I told her I would be going low contact with her for the foreseeable future. I let her know I canceled the birthday and any gift she would have gotten. The only thing she would get from me is her first college tuition, which I had promised a long time ago. I'm doing this more as a courtesy to my sister than anything else. I know it would help her a great deal. Niece will also not be allowed in my house for the foreseeable future. Her dad also reached out and apologized to us. We have decided to not go the legal route as a favor to my sister's family. They have a lot on their plate right now, and I would not want to make their life more complicated. During this conversation, she denied having a crush on my husband, as a lot of you guys had suspected. I asked if she felt I wasn't being attentive enough to her, and she said no. Oh, and I found out she had texted 2 other people. See, this girl. It was nothing serious, but still, some people were asking if she had mental issues. To my knowledge, she has none. She was tested when she was younger, and she had none. But the fact that she was tested is an indication that there were some things going on that caused a level of concern. Maybe she should be tested again. So something is not right there. And I'm not being funny at all. I'm being dead serious. She said she kind of liked drama in elementary and middle school, but nothing worrisome. We told her she would be starting therapy, to which she said nothing was wrong with her. My husband then said people who are okay wouldn't do what she did. Her mother added that it was just to help her go about things in more normal ways. Also, the PC will be going to my brother's son, who will be going to college this fall. It will probably be more useful to him. My kids have since blocked her. She was made to get a new job. She previously worked for her uncle on her dad's side, but they thought it would be better if she worked somewhere entirely different with no family relations. My mom has been upset with my husband and me. She said we were going too far and that she was just a kid. One of my uncles and two of my aunts are on her side and have been harassing us with texts and calls. My sister and her husband are on our side though. And see, that's the problem. When people try to explain away problematic behavior by saying, oh, she's just a kid. She's 17. She's not just a kid. She knows full well what she's doing. Something is wrong with her. She needs help. And if y'all just keep saying she just a kid, well, she gonna be just on a true crime episode. For real. She gonna be just in court. She gonna be just in shackles. She gonna be just in jail. She has already committed fraud, theft of intellectual property, monetary theft, stolen identity, lying, although that's not I guess a crime that or maybe you could probably try to punish somebody for that in some kind of way, but no. Over a couple days following the conversation at my place, my mom has been updating us that my niece was depressed, cries every day, and keeps repeating that she did not mean it. Everyone hates her and is no longer speaking to her. That her second mom no longer loves her or cares about her. She says they have taken away everything from her. So trigger warning for self-harm. Trigger warning for self-harm. On the 12th, my niece attempted to unalive. Her older sister found her. She left a note apologizing for all the hurt she caused and said we would all be better off without her. She wrote that she would be better off gone, then have to live her life knowing I hate her and that my kids do not want to be close to her anymore. She wrote a lengthy letter, actually, but I can't fit it all in here. She currently is still in the pediatric ICU, and she has done some extensive damage to herself. I have been to the hospital every day since I found out. My husband says maybe we went too far. My mother says she will curse me and never speak to my family if I do not make things go back to the way they were. My children think it's their fault and are willing to apologize for blocking and cutting her off. I am more conflicted than I was a week ago. It's like everyone is looking to me to fix it all. I don't really know what to do right now. My sister keeps saying I don't have to do anything, but she has been crying. My niece's other siblings have all texted me variations of, I know she hurt you, but forgive and forget because she almost died. My extended family has been a lot too. You're a grown woman waging war on a 16-year-old. You're evil and don't deserve good things. I hope your life ends up like what you're giving niece. I have gotten messages from strangers too because my sister's mother-in-law posted on Facebook that I was a bitter woman hurting their granddaughter and a bunch of other things. So the past 3 days have been mentally miserable for me. Not to take away from what my sister's family is going through, but I am sad, heartbroken, confused, and just tired. Please send prayers my sister's way. I'm not sure how all this is going to end, but I'll let everyone know when she's out of the ICU and whatever else happens. Thank you for all your advice and supportive words. I appreciate it all. I must say that is actually very tragic and heartbreaking. The fact that she felt the need to do that is very, very sad. Very, very sad. And then she's in the hospital now. Now she's probably going to have permanent damage to her body. This whole situation, I was not expecting that. This whole situation is very sad overall. I don't even think that OP was being unnecessarily harsh, but it's again unfortunate that it played out this way. This is above my pay grade. What I would maybe consider is OP and the niece maybe doing like a joint therapy or something together and not necessarily easing up on the consequences, because I think the consequences still need to be in place. Regardless of how the situation may have ended up, I think maybe we need to input more of the love and understanding piece, more of the look, I still love you. You're still my favorite. I just have to take a step back right now. Maybe a little bit more of that. And I don't know why they made her switch her job to where she wasn't working with family anymore. I feel like she could have still been working with family, that because then that just alienated her even further. But I would say still have the consequences in place, but maybe just let her know, like, we're not forgetting about you forever. You still do have to have consequences for when things go wrong. At the same time, we still love you. That doesn't mean we don't love you and we're just going to discard you. So maybe a little bit of that, but that is sad. I was not expecting that. I hope she pulls through. There's another update a week after this, so maybe she's going to tell us some good news. So a week later, she said, "Thank you everyone for your comments, DMs, and advice. I've gotten a lot of DMs and comments for an update, so I'll tell you what's happened since the last update. First, I want to give the biggest shout out to my sister, my niece's mom. She can't see this, but I just want those words out there. I have said them to her too, but I want you guys to hear it too. She has not only been my biggest defender against all the flying monkeys despite what she's going through, but she has also been so good to me. She stood up for me to my mother and relatives. She's also counterposted on Facebook after all that stuff from her mother-in-law. Secondly, I want to address those asking how my niece did it and how she was found. She ingested something harmful. We're not exactly sure of what it was, but it was a mixture of cleaning supplies. Her oldest sister found her on the bathroom floor. She was extubated on the 16th after she got a whole bowel irrigation and one-time hemodialysis because she had given herself an acute kidney injury. She was intubated for 26 hours. So a lot of medical jargon. Basically, they had to clean out her blood and her bowels because her kidney was suffering. And then they had her on a machine that breathed for her for 26 hours. She said she's now out of the ICU and is now on the pediatric med-surg unit. The same evening she left the ICU, she had to be put on a 72-hour psych hold and will be transferring to an inpatient psych facility when she is medically cleared. She did get a psych evaluation, and so far she has been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and histrionic personality disorder. The psychiatrist says she might also have borderline personality disorder, but that would be determined better at the psych facility. Now, you know we like to look things up. So let's look up histrionic personality disorder. It's a mental health condition characterized by a persistent pattern of excessive emotionality and attention-seeking behavior. People with this are often uncomfortable when they are not the center of attention, have rapidly shifting emotional states, and may use physical appearance or seductive behavior to draw attention to themselves. Interesting. She said, I am still low contact with my niece. I've only had one phone call with her in which I told her I loved her and we're getting her help. Her therapist said to reinsert my presence in her life, but make no promises like, if you get help, we'll be okay, or something like that. She says, since I've previously been a positive presence, it might help to have me in the background while she heals. She gave suggestions for my background presence, like letters, phone calls, or visits if I feel like it. I am not to give her any gifts or rewards. I haven't decided which one to go with yet. I might just send a letter monthly. My sister did look through my niece's phone and found no spicy pictures of me or my husband, but she did delete the streaming apps my niece got access to. I know some people were worried about her taking those photos. I know she saw them though. My children are in therapy, both individual and family. My husband and I finally explained the entire thing in detail to them, including my struggles during my first pregnancy and how niece's prank was a trigger. The therapist helped us facilitate the whole thing better. Niece's other siblings are in therapy now too. The oldest has since apologized for her texts and harsh voicemails. We have also sent the kids to my in-laws for the next 3 weeks. Therapy will be online. I also blocked my mother on their phones. They are to speak to none of my relatives for now. My mother doubled down and started coming at my children via text and calls. and that's one of the reasons we sent them away. My brother-in-law, niece's dad, broke down while she was still comatose and did a full 180. He left me a long voicemail saying I was hurting his baby girl and ripping her away from him. I did not like him when he first started dating my sister, and he says I was using my niece to break him because I hated him. If something happens to her, he won't forgive me. This is a complete opposite of his stance before. I don't know if it's grief or his mom in his ears. He's now at odds with his wife because she agrees with keeping the consequences we all agreed on, but the husband says to relent. I agree with the wife. I understand the gravity of the situation. It is very sad and tragic, and it can be dealt with, and she can get therapy and she can get help, and also the consequences can stay in place. Because that's just another, if she were to pull back the consequences, that all that is doing is teaching niece, oh, so next time I have consequences, all I have to do is something really, really drastic and crazy and have everybody freak out, and everything will go back to how I want it to be. And she's not learning anything. She still wouldn't be learning anything. So I agree with what the therapist said. Still be there. Don't be giving her any gifts or rewards or anything like that, but still be a positive influence in her life and let her know that you're there to support her, and leave it at that. She said, my family and my other sisters are trying to be her, niece's mom, support in every way that we can. I have had to completely cut my mother off from my family, including some of my aunts and uncles. My dad is divorced from my mother and lives on the other side of the country. He is on my side with this whole thing. I have 2 brothers and they're both on my mom's side, while all my sisters are on my side. My mother sent me a very devastating text that I'll just copy and paste here because I don't even know if I can explain it. This is the text. Quote, OP, you are the most disgraceful child I have ever birthed. I curse the day you were put in my arms. Your life will never know peace as long as you never give peace to niece. You're so vile, and you will go to blank for causing this amount of harm to your sister's family. You are no daughter of mine, and I do not claim you. Do not call me your mother. Keep your unclean children away from me too. If you come close to me, oh, I can't even read that. Wow. To put it lightly, if you come close to me, I will do extreme bodily harm to you. That's crazy. She said, what kind of a mother sends this to her child? I took a screenshot, blocked that number, and printed off a copy of the text. This devil incarnate of a woman proceeded to email me 2 days after to tell me to send my share of money for remodeling her house. You gotta be kidding me. How you gonna say, do not call me your mother, don't come close to me, I'm gonna harm you, all this stuff, I'm vowed, all this stuff, and then be asking for money? You will never get another dime out of me, bitch. She said, yeah, like a cursed child would do that. I simply blocked her email too. I don't even know why she called my children unclean. I had them all post-marriage and with one man. This has been the longest month of my life, and it isn't even over yet. I had a panic attack the other day because of everything. This darling man that I am married to has been my biggest rock and support. I genuinely do not know what I would do without him. How I would repay him for all of this, I do not know. I spend most days just crying. My mental health is suffering, my work is suffering, and I am just tired. I know this was super long, so if you've read all of this, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me and holding me up with your words and virtual presence. You all probably see this often, but I genuinely want to thank each and every one of you. I can't wait for all of this to be over so I can get some normalcy back and be able to breathe well again. Okay, guys, we have a new update. We have a new update, which was July, August, September, October, about 4 months later. I'm nervous. I don't know what it's finna be. Okay, let's read it. We're in this together. This is the last one. Hey everyone, it's been a hot minute. I think this is how you update posts, right? I'm not sure. I genuinely did not plan on updating, but there's been several DMs and requests for updates, so I decided to since there's been a couple of happenings and things are a little more settled now. Whew, thank God. I was nervous. First, I'm not American and I don't live in America. I don't know if that clears up anything, but there were a couple of questions and comments regarding that. Again, too many people were caught up on the nap from my initial post, and I don't really understand why that is a bizarre thing to people. I took naps at my sister's house. Here's another shocker. I've also spent nights there. Wowza, how despicable. Another thing was people saying I deserved all of that because of a different post on my profile that happened a while before the niece event. I really hope you never get yourself in a pickle and need input from people. And to the it's AI and it's fake people, I really wish all that was an elaborate fake situation. Over to niece, her birthday has come and gone. She spent her 17th birthday in a psych facility, unfortunately. Maybe they'll make up with her 18th next year. Thankfully, she suffered no adverse effects from what she did, maybe except trauma. No, I did not give her the gifts, and there was no grand party. She's out of the psych facility and home with her family now. The final mental health diagnosis is ADHD, histrionic personality disorder, and depression. No borderline personality disorder, no autism. I got some DMs to get a second opinion because those diagnoses are not usually made for teenagers. I relayed that to my sister, and niece did get a second set of evaluations at the facility, and this is what they came up with. I had no conversations with the doctors and have no clue how it was done. This is just what my sister has told me. I visited her there twice, just short conversations, assuring her I still loved her, but was just hurt by her actions. My first visit was in the presence of her therapist, and the other was with my sister. I will not remove my presence from her life as I still care for her and love her. I am hopeful that we will rebuild our relationship to where it was before all of this, or at least close to what it was. She has her phone privileges back, and she texts me sometimes, to which I respond, "Don't be upset with me. Her therapist and mine said it was okay." My kids and husband are okay. My older twins have reestablished their relationship with the niece, but the younger set are still salty, and we're not going to coerce them into doing anything that they do not want to do. My sister and her husband kind of separated for like 3 weeks because she was siding with me, and this almost broke me, to be honest. I genuinely wanted to give in and apologize, which I know all of you here would have been mad at. It just felt like everything spiraled out too fast. Too many people were getting involved, too many people were getting hurt in different ways, and I started to feel like it was too much, and maybe I should have just scolded her and gotten past it. But my therapist and dad helped me hold strong, especially earlier after I visited my niece in the hospital and just saw her state. I couldn't help but feel it was all my fault. I couldn't tell you how many panic attacks I had during that time. I even thought I was going to check myself into rehab too. My dad even had to fly in to stay with us for a bit. My sisters and I have gotten so much closer, so that's a positive from all of that. My extended family has had too many fallouts since then, and a lot came to light. I no longer speak to our eldest brother and my mother, who I have a protective order against now. Long story short, she tried to do something to my youngest, which I don't think I can openly talk about. My brother-in-law has also apologized for how he acted. His mother is a different story, and she isn't allowed in their home anymore. She only gets supervised calls to her grandkids now. Not all the grandmothers crashing out. What's going on? This has been an intense couple of months for everyone in the family, both extended and nuclear. I kid you not, everyone was involved. Everyone had things to say. I got emotional whiplash so many times, and I think my niece might not be the only one with mental disorders. All my mother's children might have a little something because my goodness, was it a lot, including myself, to be honest, but I'm not ready to confront that journey yet. I will in the future at some point maybe. We're all healing and getting better. My poor husband has been through so much emotionally this year. I'm so grateful for him and wish I could just take it all away from him. He deserves better. My children have been champs through this, especially my younger twins. I did not expect the amount of emotional maturity they showed, and I am so proud of them. Thank you all for the DMs and good wishes. I saw my story was posted on YouTube and TikTok, so thank you for the comments there as well. There won't be any other updates from me unless something outrageous happens. I'm open to answering questions in the comments. Wow, I was not expecting that. That was a lot. That was a lot. We definitely need the palate cleanser today. Let me find a second one. I only have one. Let's do two. Whenever we have heavy stories like that, I'm like, we need to bring up. We really need to bring up the energy. Okay, so the next story. I just can't imagine if this happened to me. My 38 female ex-fiance ghosted me, 39 male, before our wedding. It's been 16 years and now she wants to talk it over again. Should we reopen closed wounds? Now, if you ghost me before the wedding, I'm ghosting you for the rest of life. You mean to tell me we have all of our friends and family gathered here today to celebrate this holy matrimony and no matrimony occurred? You will not know peace for the rest of your life. He went out and bought a tux. Y'all planned the whole thing. But you know what? I'd much rather someone not go through with a wedding versus go through it and be miserable and then end up divorcing anyway. Now, I don't agree with the ghosting part. I don't know what was going on with that. So let's see. He said, I was never given an explanation. She just left and told nobody. It was literally right before our big wedding ceremony. She didn't leave a note, nothing, just left. Even her family were left baffled. She just up and left. We had dated all through high school and all through college. She eventually returned, but not to me. I had to learn via third party, her parents, she had no intentions of coming home. She wanted nothing to do with me and told her parents to avoid having me around. I never got a choice in the matter. I respected her wishes. I never understood why she did it. My only guess was she had a mental breakdown because she cut off all contact with everyone. We were both young and still growing. I don't know, but I've struggled with it since. 16 years ago, so they were 23 and 22. That is quite young, but still, damn, just ghost them? He said, out of the blue, she DMs me on Facebook after all these years and wants to meet up. I'm an influx of emotions right now. Angry, nervous, hopeful, sad. I still have feelings for her. I don't know if I could take her back, but looking at her Facebook makes me miss her. She's even better looking than she was before and single. I'm conflicted. She won't talk about anything as to why she left. She said it's best to do it in person. The only thing I can tell is from her Facebook is a bunch of stuff about her being weak and living a life full of shame and regret and being lonely. This is dumb. She ghosted me and I should want nothing to do with her, but dang, I still have feelings for her. I never stopped thinking about her. What should I do? Ghost her in return? Call her out? See where this date takes us? I don't know, man. Like, you leave me at the altar, I wouldn't be able to trust you ever again. Because who's to say you're not going to leave me at the altar again? And then we're going to have to fight or something. You know? Who's to say, if we have kids or something, you're not going to be so stressed that you leave when times get hard. Now, granted, it's been 16 years, so maybe she learned and grew and changed and whatever. We're going to have to see. But I would probably have a hard time trusting somebody that left me at the altar. Like, you got all the way up until the day of the ceremony. I don't know, man. But somebody said, first off, dang, OP, that's rough. 16 years is a long time. Would meeting up with her set you back in the time you've spent getting over this, or will it give you the closure you never found? OP said, I don't know. I just want closure. For the longest time, I thought she had cheated on me. But the only things I've been told from her family and the few friends she didn't cut off, it was more like a mental breakdown. Oh, okay. Well, that makes a little more sense. I know she was scared to death about the wedding and her looming finals in her career. She was beyond stressed. She ghosted everyone. She gradually came back, but I was never involved. I have never stopped thinking of her. Someone said, honestly, it's up to you. If you want to see her because you want closure from that chapter of your life, it may be worth it. If it was me, I would probably go because I can't not know things, even if I wish I could do without the knowledge after I know it. Some things to keep in mind: you're not the same person and neither is she. This happened a long time ago and I'd hope you've moved past it. That doesn't mean she doesn't owe you an apology. You don't owe her anything beyond civility. If you decide a meeting would be too much, she has no right to say otherwise. She can find another way to apologize to you and explain herself. If you're interested in starting a relationship again, you need to be over the previous one. This would need to be a fresh relationship, not a retread of the old one. Any feelings you have for her are for a woman who existed 16 years ago. This woman is who she became, and any feelings for her should be developed after meeting her, if at all. With that in mind, if you don't want to meet, you shouldn't feel guilty or read further. If you do meet, I'd make it clear that it's strictly not a date from the outset. This woman hurt you, and this meeting is you letting her give you the apology and explanation that she should have given 16 years ago. It's strictly platonic, and after that, it can be a catch-up between two people who fell out of touch. Whatever you decide, try not to dwell on it. No matter what, the past stays in the past, even if the present wears a similar face. That's solid advice. Some of these people I'm ready to be smart as hell, boy. That is some solid advice. So then, 2 days later, he said, well, that was something. I got closure at least. We met at a cafe and sat and talked outside. The first thing I noticed was how badly scarred her arms were and how much pain was in her face. Long story short, she wanted to break up long before the wedding. She was too weak and cowardly to speak up for herself. She had a complete nervous breakdown over everything. She had been tired of being forced into doing things she never wanted to do and never having the guts to stand up for herself. She was mad at her family, pressuring her to get married and pump out kids. She was mad at them, forcing her into a degree that she didn't want. She was mad at herself for not being able to speak up. Nothing she did was justified, which we agreed on. When I first proposed to her, I did it in a public area. I had put her on the spot and she wanted to say no, but she couldn't bear to see me hurt. She was right. I made all the choices for her. I was a very different person back then, and she was very meek, as in she just went with the flow and had no backbone. I drowned her voice out often, and often never gave her the chance to grow to be a person. Back then, I was often focused only on myself. Well, everything came to a climax and she had a complete mental breakdown. She ran away from her problems at the behest of her best friend and only person in the world she ever trusted. As she said, it's the only thing she knows how to do: run. She never had the spine to speak up. Her life just spiraled downwards. She did a few years homeless after her best friend's husband kicked her to the curb. Damn! The rest of that time was spent in prison, which she didn't specify what she did. She was released about a year ago and has been turning her life around. She has a job, she reconnected with her parents, and she's finally reconnecting with me. She never stopped trying to get in touch with me. As for our future, we have none. We both agreed to end things and go our separate ways. We both are changed, two different people. We have nothing in common and don't live near each other. She doesn't justify what she did, nor does she want to be forgiven. She thinks it's repulsive and is ashamed of her actions. I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. I just forgave her. With that, we shook hands, said our goodbyes, and that will likely be the last time we ever see one another. It's bittersweet. I got the closure I wanted. We both did. It feels like a burden was released. I know now we never had a future together and never will, but on the other hand, I'm sad because it's over. All these years, maybe hoping something would happen, were for naught. But in the end, this is an ending, and I finally have closure. Not many get to say that. Do I believe her story? Yes, I do. And even if she's full of shit at this point, doesn't even matter. I've always known her to be very weak-willed and meek. She often just does what everyone tells her to do and often runs when things get too difficult. She avoids her problems because she was too weak to stand up to them. I mean, it makes sense why her family would not talk to me about her. They were the typical tiger parents that disowned their problem child. Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. I was hoping they would fall back in love after all these years. She sounded like she had it a bit rough, though. It sounds like her parents kind of did a number on her and it like trickled down into the rest of her life. Damn, she was homeless for years, then went to prison. I sound like she might have been on drugs a little bit for a while there. You know, a little self-harm going on. Sounds like she had it rough. So I'm hoping she's considering maybe doing some therapy or something, because, whew. So some comments, someone was putting a lot of blame on her friend. OP said her friend was an enabler. We all were. Her friend was the one who encouraged her to run. Of course, nobody forced her to. It was all her. If I hadn't ignored her problems, if I actually had been a part of her life, I might have seen. It is what it is, though. And then regarding the public proposal, OP quoted, "The proposal shouldn't be the surprise when it happens. You should know 100% before you do it. As it's discussed, it is what both of you want at some point. Dropping it at random does put a huge amount of pressure on the other person if they're not quite there," end quote. The truth is, she was right. I dropped the proposal on her on purpose in public to ensure she would not say no. I was only thinking about myself. It never occurred to me she was unhappy, and it never occurred to me she was very uncomfortable with a public proposal. I completely agree. You should never propose to somebody without you two having discussed a proposal. It should never just be out the blue like, you know what, I want to propose to this person, and then you do it. You should talk to them about it. Like, hey, you know, what do you think about us getting married? Like, there should be some conversations there. Like, what do you think your timeline is? What type of proposal are you looking for? You know, just some conversations, some details that need to be worked out. You shouldn't just bring a proposal on somebody. That's actually crazy. And that's a risk because you don't know if they're going to say yes or no. You should know with 100% certainty if someone is going to say yes to your proposal before you do it. And if you're not sure on that, then you're not ready. And some conversations need to be had. Then this was his response when someone said his ex was bullied by a lot of people that led to the jilting. Is that the word? OP said, I abused her. There, I said it. I neglected her needs in favor of mine and forced her into a marriage. I'm no better than her mom and dad, really. It pisses me off all these freaking years. I never realized how freaking rotten I was. Damn. All right. Well, this was like a really old story, so I don't think there's any updates. Yeah, definitely not. The next story, I broke up with my girlfriend on Christmas because of her family. Okay, I'm of indigenous descent. I do perform at powwows and sing too. My girlfriend is white, so is her family, except for her brother-in-law. He's black. This is my first Christmas with them and my girlfriend. We've been together a year and a half. There's that bit of backstory. So I went to girlfriend's family gathering for Christmas yesterday, and while there, it comes up that I dance and sing at powwows. Conversation starts off innocent enough, but I get that feeling that people of color get sometimes when these sorts of talks come up. And I know something offensive is about to go down. Chad, boy, do I know the feeling. There are about 15 grown people there and 4 children. So I'm fielding questions and statements like, do the words mean anything or is it just gibberish? I can hop too. How much Indian are you? Do you get money from the casino? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Some people are just so culturally ignorant. I can hop too. Do the words mean anything or is it gibberish? Now, what do you think? They're really asking questions like this? He said, anyways, my girlfriend's uncle tells me to do an Indian chant and wants me to dance too. I said no. The girlfriend's dad chimes in with a, come on, do one. And then like 6 other people start asking. I say it's just weird and I don't want to. Girlfriend's brother-in-law, the only other person of color there, is staring at the floor, glancing over at me with a look that says, "I'm so sorry." And after about 5 minutes of this shit, her uncle tells his kids to dance and sing like an Indian. So then there's 2 white children making Indian noises and jumping around the room. Girlfriend is laughing and everyone is cheering for... I'm at a loss for words. That would be the last day I see her. That would be the last day. Because it's one thing for your family to be racist. And that happens. Sometimes the older generation, they're still holding on to their old beliefs. But why are you over there laughing? Why are you over there joining in on the fun? Like this is some spectacle. Taking this sacred thing that this person's culture does and making it a caricature. And you just over there laughing. All right. Okay. He said me and the brother-in-law are staring in complete freaking disbelief. Then they start in on me again. They can do it. Show them how it's actually done. I've had enough. I stand up and tell them I'm not their freaking show monkey and they need to be more respectful of other cultures. Girlfriend just sits there. She's been to at least 10 of my performances and claims to love my culture, and she not once defended me or it here. I look over at her and ask her to help me out here, and she sheepishly says, "They're just kidding around." And I say, okay, well, I'm not kidding around when I say we're done, period. Bravo. 10 out of 10, no notes. Period. Her dad and uncle start saying something and her sister says that's not fair, and I start walking to the bedroom to get my stuff to leave. While doing so, I forget that she drove her car and I'm without transportation to get 4 hours to my apartment. So I suck it up, go back out there while ex-girlfriend's grandma is telling everyone off. So somebody in this room has some sense. Damn, I'm like, the whole family is just racist? At least one person has some sense. He said grandma was also not happy about what transpired. She's a goddamn saint of a woman. I say to ex-girlfriend, you need to take me home now, please. She's crying naturally, and her dad says, find your own way, you freaking bastard. Boy. This is raising my blood pressure a little bit. He said, and brother-in-law, again, the only other person of color in the room, stands up and says, I'll do it. His wife tells him not to, and he says something like, this was all too much and he can't just leave me stranded. So I get into his truck and I'm shaking. I'm still so freaking pissed off. And he gets in and starts it up and we're off. About 15 minutes down the road, he looks at me and says, bro, what the heck? And we start laughing. He tells me about what happened his first time meeting that family and all the stories thereafter. And honestly, I think I dodged a bullet. And now I'm side-eyeing the brother-in-law. Because how do you have so many instances to talk about? I need more details. Like, what is your wife thinking about all of this? Does she defend you? It don't really sound like it. Are you just letting these things happen? Like, I have some questions. Anyway, he said, so today I've been getting messages from my friends and mutual friends of my ex about how I'm an a-hole for breaking up with her in front of her family, cussing them all out and demanding they fly? ? Me back home. Apparently she's been feeding them all an extremely exaggerated event. One asked me if I keyed her dad's car before I left. Like, WTF. Anyways, I've been feeling kind of bad for dumping her in front of her family. Like, my adrenaline is still active and my nerves were all on end. Is what I did too much? How do I get my friends to believe that what I did was justified? I know she probably didn't mean what she did, but still. She's also been texting me and trying to smooth things over, but I honestly don't see it, especially after lying to our friends. But also, a part of me really does miss her. We've been holed up in my place for 11 months, getting to know almost everything about each other. I'm confused. I know me and most of her family are done, even if we work this out. It's a weird thing to love someone and then suddenly you have to tell yourself you don't anymore. First of all, I would get her to confess that she lied through text, because that's the only way you're going to have definitive proof to show your friends that she's lying. Not that, I guess not that it really matters, because you would hope that your friends believe you. But if you really just wanted some proof, like, look, she's lying. She's even said it here in the text. But other than that, I couldn't be with someone like this. You're sitting there laughing as your family tries to make a spectacle of me, and then you're making an excuse for them, talking about they're just kidding around. It's not funny, to be honest. And you done seen me actually do my thug thizzle and do my performances. So what was you thinking while the shit was going on? You thinking she supporting you, y'all got something real, and when it really come down to it and her family is... So no, that's going to be an indication of how the rest of your life is going to go. The next time something happens like this, or your family is her family is out of line, or they say some off the wall stuff, she going to be like, oh, well, it's not that serious. Oh, well, they didn't mean to be racist. And no, you weren't wrong for breaking up with her in front of her family, because if she can not defend you in front of her family and treat you like that in front of her family, then they need to see the direct consequences of all of their actions. It's done. The whole thing is done. Somebody said, F that noise. Her family is racist and she didn't stand up for you. You dodged a bullet. You don't owe anyone a performance, and I'd break up with someone treating me like a dancing monkey too. The fact she doubled down and started lying about what happened shows you how much love and respect she has for you. I forgot about that part. Yeah, then she was lying about... Yeah, nah, it's over. They said move on with a clear conscience and don't look back. You deserve someone who will stand up for you, sending you love. And a few days after that, so first off, thank you for the awards and stuff, the kind words, and mostly the advice. Second, I turned off my phone after my original post and immediately got hammered, passed out, woke up at 2 p.m. the next day, ordered some waffles, and built my dog a bed that she won't sleep in. Whatever, I guess. Then got into my car, went to Best Buy to buy a PS5. They didn't have any, naturally. Bought a new TV instead, got a Switch and some games, and have been living the best freaking life I could possibly be living. No phone, no internet except for the gaming, no social media, and honestly, no heartache. Finally turned my phone back on today to an absolute onslaught of texts, missed calls, voicemails, Facebook messages, Twitter messages, and you name it. There was a message on my PS5 from my brother even. I did respond to him to let him know I was fine and to tell our family not to worry. I was just dealing in my own way. The juicy bits are as follows. X is terribly sorry and she doesn't condone what they did, but it's her family. And she didn't mean to laugh or whatever. She keeps trying to bait me to respond with things like, what about our history? We talked about having a family. Basically trying everything. I will admit I did respond once and I said, politely, please leave me alone. What we had was great. I enjoyed every bit of it as much as you claim you had. But that was absolutely horrific to watch, and watching you laugh at it was heartbreaking and abhorrent. We have no chance after what I experienced. Hopefully that didn't paste in a weird format, but she has since messaged me a few times more. Then I think she finally realized it's over. Her dad or uncle, I'm honestly not sure who, texted me to apologize for what happened. I never responded. I probably won't. Her grandma added me on Facebook. That sweetheart. She's like 80 and posted the night this all happened that she has never been so disappointed on a holiday. Then she has been spamming the news feed with Indigenous history stuff and made a big long post on the anniversary of Wounded Knee that was absolutely beautiful. I love that. I love that. That is so sweet. I am talking with her about her granddaughter. She thinks I should give her another shot. I told her it's honestly not something I want to deal with right now, and she gets it. Our friend group has basically been split down the middle. Half still think I should have waited until Christmas was over to break up. The other half just don't really give a crap anymore, I guess. There are a few friends I did explain what happened, And that went about as smooth as shitting bricks sideways. They refused to believe she would just sit there and do nothing, despite screenshots of her literally saying she was sorry for laughing and not doing anything. So they're gone, done with them. Some of my closer pals told me they never trusted her, and I asked why, and they said it's because she called fry bread lefse one time. I don't know what that means. That must be out of I don't know what that means. Must have been something ignorant that she said. Other than that, our friends are filled in from what happened on both sides. Whatever they decide, it is what it is. The real hero of the situation, the brother-in-law, the black guy. I showed him the post and he had a few things to say. One, he said, F the guy who called him the N-word or something. Yeah, F that guy. Two, he says that him and his wife are actually in the middle of a divorce, but we're trying to reconcile before going through with it because they have a child together. Okay, because I was side-eyeing him a little bit. Like, come on, brother, what's going on? But I see he trying to get out of that situation. He said 3, he says, thanks for all the MVP acknowledgement. And he says he couldn't just have a brother hanging like that. I learned that he's a quarter Choctaw. And last, he says he hates racism as much as the next decent person, but love is a crazy, beautiful, fickle, wonderful thing. What are you gonna do? I couldn't love somebody who's racist. Okay, but whatever you say. I think that about covers most of everything. I don't expect there will be anything to update from here. Again, thanks for the kindness. You are all amazing except that one guy. Yeah, I was definitely side-eyeing the black guy. Cause why was he just so, why has he, I'm sure that's not been the first instance of the family acting racist and you're still around them. So for me, I'm like, what, And now you want to be a hero. But I see he's trying to get out a bit, I guess. Get out. So the first palate cleanser is this little boy. It's so cute. The caption, the text on screen, it says, my 9-month-old reaction to his first steps. He couldn't believe it.
Go, Bob. Go.
The comments, you can't see because of my screen share, but it says, somebody said he saw bills on the horizon. Somebody said he doesn't realize that chores are about to be assigned. Someone said he know y'all ain't finna be picking him up no more. Somebody else, I'm glad he didn't overreact. Someone said he did that a little too well. He be walking when nobody's watching. I agree. Somebody said his face at the end was him realizing he now qualifies to get the remote from across the room. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's another one. It's so cute. It's this little kitten fighting sleep. It says, ain't nobody told me they fight, they sleep too.
Bro, you've been doing too much. Take a nap if you're tired. Why are you just up? Take a nap. Here. Stop it. It's nap time. Take a nap. You're doing the most right now. And I'm tired of hearing your mouth going off. Come on. Take a nap.
Oh, he's so cute.
It's nap time.
So the little kitten is fighting sleep, and the lady puts him down in a little blanket and tucks him in basically, and 2-3 seconds, eyes closed. You could tell he just wanted to sleep, he or she. And so she starts patting him, and then he goes to sleep. So cute. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.